It's Wednesday, that means it's DeFi day. Let's take a look at some DeFi charts for Brave New Coin. For the most part, everything looks like it's in pre-breakout mode to varying degrees. So what do I care most about here? I care most about moving averages and volume, as well as chart patterns, obviously. Extremely important to me. Most of the time, these reversals have some sort of bias painting before it occurs. You could argue inverted head and shoulders. You could argue double E, double bottom. The W argument is probably the cleanest. You can see it on ETH already, basically reaching its target currently. So there's more fuel or ammunition for a rotation trade out of ETH and into DeFi stuff. One knock against that thought process would be the craziness of NFTs right now, which may be sucking some of the liquidity out of the room. I don't know. I don't think we've seen many crazy things such as that very often. So there's lots of spec and hype around NFTs right now. And that's definitely going to play a role in all of this. If you're not a shiny altcoin, DeFi, blah, 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 if you're some old altcoin, you aren't going to do anything probably till late stage. Most people will forget about you. You're not even in the conversation compared to some of this DeFi stuff. Love it or hate it, If you're a XYZ coin community member for the past 7 years, that's just the way things are now. So here's the DeFi perp index futures, and we're getting back into this previous range from 8.5 to 12.5. The median is around 10K. The measured move of the W is around 10K. Volume's still muted. Hopefully, as this continues to break out, you see volume come back. If you don't, then this is in trouble. A type of bearish divergence. If you see higher highs and lower volume, just no conviction from people on the follow through. But at this point, this has pulled back enough, consolidated enough. MAs are happy with it as well. You can see these crisscrossing here probably in the next 2 weeks. So I'm optimistic for DeFi. I think holding a bunch of DeFi stuff now is appropriate, as you would anything that's pre-breakout. Here's comp. I like 650 to 750. I like EMAs. Again, all these charts are going to be slightly busy because I'm showing everything at once, but they all say the same thing in that the doom, death, devastation has definitely been abated, and we've turned the corner as MAs are flipping bullish. Cloud is painting high probability levels with a flat Kumo here at 550, 560, and you're getting this inverted head and shoulders. So again, collectively, I like all these charts. Abe, same thing. Inverted head and shoulders, MA's flipping, breaking through resistance. The difference on most of these is that comp has the cleanest horizontal resistance, whereas all the rest of these have more of a diagonal resistance. Nevertheless, the cloud is still painting very specific levels, 445 in this case for Aave. The measured move is probably around 480, so I like higher there. Maker, same exact thing, I like higher there, 4250. MAs have been bullish this whole time. You'll also want to see this TK cross, the red and the blue line. You want to see those cross to give you further momentum and fuel reassuredness that this is going to actually complete an edge to edge. And we'll probably know by the 16th how well all this moves. Some of this will probably move before others, and then you'll see rotations into other stuff. I mean, that's just how things work. To me, comp just looks like the best example of that. Uni as well had a risk of a descending triangle, triple bottom something, right? But it's breaking up. The MAs are crisscrossing. This looks like 30, 31 slam dunk to me. Sushi, I still like 14. Again, triple bottom, W, breaking some diagonal, breaking a pitchfork. MAs are crisscrossing. You're getting a TK bull cross soon, and an edge to edge eventually to 14, 50, 15, somewhere in there. So I wouldn't get impatient with any of these. They all look basically the same, right? Like you can see the flat cloud on every single chart, and that's a 50% retrace. I think if you put these on a list and you say, okay, these are the levels, these are the prices, these are the expectations, and let's say 80% of them play out. If by that time, some of these laggards, maybe like Curve doesn't play out, or Uni, whoever, then you can probably start to get more worried, move up stops, that sort of thing, that those targets won't get hit. Curve, I like 290 plus, whatever that level is here. Again, it was at risk for a descending triangle, but it looks like it's morphing into bullish reversal. Instead, balancer, again, same thing, diagonal resistance here, WIHS, whatever you want to call it, bullish TK cross soon with a pretty big move to 45, maybe into September. You know, the cloud is going to tell you pretty clearly. The problem with waiting on some of these charts, so I've been in on the DeFi portfolio for 1 or 2 weeks now, and a lot of this stuff just sitting 90% crypto, 90% DeFi, because if you are pretty sure that things are going to break out on these altcoins, they just move so quickly. I mean, we saw BTC and ETH move 14 days in a row straight up. And if you're not semi-positioned, ready for that sort of thing, you're just going to miss it. And I don't like trading like that, but that's just the nature of the game. So I'm just trying to get pre-positioned for all this stuff. Now it's just a waiting game. You know, there's nothing to do if you are trading the plan. You're just saying, okay, I know where this is going. I'm just doing something else, right? Enjoying your summer, going outside, whatever it is. BNT, same thing, diagonal, pretty aggressive diagonal that it broke out of. Bullish TK cross probably moves to around 5.5. MAs will cross eventually as well. 1 inch had this falling wedge thing that's starting to break up. I like a move to 480 from here. Probably sees resistance at 360, 380. But it's all the same flavor of the same trade. 1 inch looks a little different than everybody else. ZRX, same thing. I like 150 from here. Bullish TK cross. Pending with this edge to edge move. And you can watch all these charts on the 12 hour if you want, if you're looking for the vanilla Kumo breakout, which is what you'll see on the 12 hour versus this edge to edge sort of move. I like looking at the dailies because it gives me the target and allows me to set the complete entry, exit, stop loss plan for the trade versus the daily, where it doesn't always paint this ledge, giving you a very clean target. And again, you want volume to be creeping up as these are breaking out. SNX looks very different in volume, very different in price action. I still think it plays out to 1650, 1610, whatever that is. All these should act extremely similar. SNX may be a bit of a laggard because it already, it just like puked out at the bottom, right? And then it had this rubber band back to the 200-day moving average. So this may be one of the slower ones to move, but I still think those targets are valid. Melon needed to bounce, Enzyme, the Enzyme token, needed to bounce at that diagonal where it had just a history of support at those levels, and it did. It also has this sort of disrupted, this was Coinbase listing, I think, but this disrupted triple bottom inverted head and shoulders where if it breaks probably 120, probably goes for all-time highs. It looks decent. It's got a small cap, and trend metrics are on its side for higher highs past 120. And then for Link, same story. Broke out of a diag, risked a descending triangle breakdown, full complete reversal. But if you zoom out, if you're able to zoom out for stuff like Link and look at where the mean is for the trend, Aave is very similar. I think it's, the mean for Aave is like 850 probably at this point, if you zoomed way out. But for Link, it's around 55 probably by the time it gets there, as far as a decent target. So almost all of these have a 2x potential in the near term, within the next month, I would say. And if you want to trade them, trade them. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. Do whatever you want to do. But as long as you have a plan for that and aren't blindsided by some like crazy moves that we're looking like we're starting to see throughout DeFi land. I mean, ETH already, this was ETH's W, and it's reaching that target. It did it previously, consolidated, and went again. London hard forks obviously coming today, I believe. So there's a lot of maybe hype buying around that. I don't know. But ultimately, I think we look good for a bullish continuation here. Lastly, I'll just mention the ETH-BTC fund and DeFi portfolio I trade for Techemy Capital and Enzyme.Finance, where you can send ETH or USDC or just watch what I'm doing. You can see AUM performance, allocation. You can see all of the DeFi things I'm into, everything I mentioned in this video, along with all the trades I make, along with where all of these are sitting for yield, all that sort of fun stuff. So that's all I have for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.